Hello, welcome to the Lone Show. I'm your host, John Lone. This episode, no regulars, cause reasons, I guess. As for our guest, he's from somewhere in Seattle, Washington. He is an expert in canyoning, he's a climbing guide, and he knows something about extreme adventures. But we'll get more into that. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Samuel Keller.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
Great. So, how's life?
Life is really good right now. We're just finishing up our summer season guiding canyoning here in Seattle. We're about to go over to Mallorca, Spain, and start our deep water soloing season and then our canyoning guiding season as well.
Wow, impressive.
Yeah.
So, what inspired you to get into anything that relates to extreme adventures and expeditions, some sort of like that?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Basically, about what was it, 2009, a friend of mine invited me to go to Zion National Park in southeast or southwestern Utah. And I didn't really know what it was, but I went on a trip and got into a canyon and was hooked from the first moment. And just have been doing things ever since. Got a lot of different ascents and adventures all around the world. I
Okay,
think, I think that for me, what really interests me is like the presence that adventure and taking on risk requires. So that frame of mind where you need to be on and paying attention and focusing 100% of the time for long periods of time is what really interests me.
of course, yes. And during your time, what were some of the most exciting moments during your time there?
Yeah, so as far as like outdoor adventures, my favorite moments is what you're asking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think so. I've done several ascents of El Capitan in Yosemite, and I think maybe like the most like there's a couple wild and memorable moments that have occurred while I was climbing El Capitan. I think the one that stands out most in my mind, and maybe one of the most memorable moments of my life, was the first time that I was climbing a route there. It was called Lurking Fear. And, El Capitan is several thousand feet high. It takes a long time to climb it. It took us 5 days, a little bit more than 5 days. And my partner, in his infinite wisdom, had forgotten a, over a gallon of water. A gallon is 3.46 liters for any the metric people out there. And when you're climbing a big wall, every gram counts. So a liter of water weighs 1 kilo, right? And so you try to thread the needle of bringing just enough water that you don't have to carry it all the way up, but not too little water so that you're thirsty the whole time. And we did not thread the needle. We were way behind on water. And every day we were just getting to the end of the day and doing what's called bonking, which is when you just completely run out of energy and your body starts to kind of not shut down, but just not become very useful and helpful. And then on the very last day, we were like, all right, we've got enough water to get to the top, and then we've got to find water when we get to the top. And we got lost that day, and we were way behind schedule, climbing well into the night. It was probably 1 o'clock in the morning when we got to this ledge called the Thanksgiving Ledge, which is just below the top of El Capitan. And would you believe it? I turned a corner and there was maybe 80, 90 liters of water just sitting in this cave. I loved that moment like a man dying of thirst loves an oasis. It was an incredible moment of just pure joy. I mean, we've been living off of like 3 to 4 liters of water per day for the last 4-ish days. And we're so dehydrated, so out of our minds, afraid and tired and just all sorts of emotions. And just to see that water, it sounds simple. So like, 100 liters of water just sitting there when you've been preserving, the goal. Every milliliter of water was important up until that moment. And I just screamed and was so happy. I had to be careful not to like make a mistake and make sure that I was doing everything correctly to take care of my partner. But he heard me and he was like, there must be water up there. He's screaming water. And so my partner came up and we stayed up to like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning eating almonds and just pounding liters and liters of water.
Wow, that's quite
Yeah,
an adventure.
yeah, it was a good time. I mean, it's really hard to explain to people how, like, just that high of emotion. It was like having like a child born. You know, you go from this period of such want and lack to just having every single thing that you've been dreaming about for the last couple of days right in front of your face in excess.
Yeah, absolutely. Are there any jobs or opportunities that you haven't done yet that you would like to do someday?
That's a great question. You know, I've spent a lot of my life working in different vertical jobs around the world. Work as a access technician, which is like the people that go up and work at heights, like replacing signs on skyscrapers, things like that. I've worked as a climbing guide, a canyoning guide for a long time. Um, I don't think that there's any specific job that I would really want to do that I don't do now. I'm pretty happy with where I am.
Fair enough, fair enough. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Yeah, that's a great question as well. You know, I've traveled around the world. I've lived, you know, all around the world, different continents, different countries. And so I think now what's most important to me is family and community. And so right currently I split time between Mallorca, Spain and Seattle, Washington, and I don't think I have it any other way. Maybe the only place that I would add would be sometime in the spring or the fall in Utah, which is in the US.
Ah, all right then.
Yeah, I feel pretty happy with where I landed. You know, life is funny. It's funny. It takes a lot of twists and turns. You never know what's going to happen. But I'm pretty happy with where it sent me.
Yeah, indeed. So, out between scuba diving, skydiving, and rock climbing, which of the three would you choose?
Would I choose if I had to choose one of the three?
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I love rock climbing. I do it all the time, and I've never skydived before. So I probably would choose skydiving just for the novelty. Um, you know, I have all of the equipment and knowledge necessary to rock climb, and so I think skydiving is more appealing for me in that case.
all right then, yes. If you could watch one movie again for the first time, what movie would that be?
Oh, that's a great question. One movie. Probably like the Return of the King, you know, or something epic like that. That you could just like have such an epic adventure and not know how it's going to end and things like that.
Yeah, of course. Do you prefer headphones or earbuds?
Hello?
Hello, I'm still here.
All right.
I asked you, do you prefer headphones or earbuds?
Headphones, 100%. Man, I lost so many earbuds. Like, it's no joke. Whereas headphones, they last me for years and years and years. So I appreciate like the big, bulky headphones that are a lot harder to lose.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Would you rather speak all languages or talk to animals?
Well, I imagine if you could speak all languages, you'd be able to speak animal languages. Um, and you know, I really like languages. I studied anthropology in school, and I speak Spanish fluently. I speak a little bit of Catalan, and in my time, I learned Swahili, which is an African language, and a little bit of French. And obviously, I speak some English. But I think I just love language. I think I'd want to learn to speak every language.
Yeah, I'd say the same.
Yeah.
You know, I'm actually in the process of learning multiple languages, at least 10 all at once. So I'm balancing learning like Swedish, Turkish, French, Portuguese, German, and a lot of other languages just to help with my brain capacity and, of course, being able to communicate wherever I am around the world.
Yeah. That's impressive.
Yeah.
a lot of work.
It sure is.
I spent a lot of time practicing Spanish and Catalan. I
Yes, of
couldn't
course.
imagine learning 10 all at once.
Yeah, it's quite a hassle, but it will pay off with enough consistency.
Yeah, I mean, consistency is the key when it comes to language.
Oh,
I
yes.
think a lot of people they have a problem kind of humbling themselves when they're learning another language, and they feel really self-conscious, and that's kind of the number one barrier to learning language. And I think if people could kind of take that approach where they just, are comfortable being beginners and not, people not understanding them and not being able to communicate like they do in their day-to-day language, there's a lot of value in that, both from like a logistical, being able to speak with people around the world, but also like the effects that it has on your mental state. Just like there's so much humility and empathy that develops when you learn a language that I think that it would be a really good thing for people around the world to learn.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
What kind of music do you often listen to?
that's a great question. I love Spanish rock and roll. Huge fan of the song Cantares de Juan Manuel Serrat. He was like a golden age Spanish singer. And yeah, now these days I like to listen to a lot of Spanish rock. And then just, kind of the good, like the oldies from the 90s.
Ah, yes. Those are my kind of music.
Yeah,
If you were chosen to be a colonist for a new habitable planet, would you take the offer?
no, I don't think so. I think I want to stay behind here on Earth and help us try to figure out our problems here. I don't think taking our problems to a new place is a good idea. You know, what is that saying? You can go anywhere you want, but you got to take yourself with you. So I think we should probably focus on improving our own reality instead of trying to escape it to a new one.
Yes, that is very true. Would you rather be able to breathe underwater or have an agility of a cat?
Ooh. Ooh. As a Canadian guy, I spent a lot of time in water, so I think there's some self-interest there that I prefer to breathe underwater.
Nice, yes. I'd like to breathe underwater as well, because there's so much more you can explore underwater than you would on land.
Yeah, 100%. It would be cool to be agile like a cat, though.
Yeah, that too.
That's what makes it tough.
Uh-huh. What's the best way to start the morning?
Yeah, I think early is the correct answer there. I like to get up around 6 and get some coffee and just kind of chill, think about the day. I think that screen free, wake up with some coffee is probably the best way.
Yeah, of course. What is the most comfortable piece of clothing that you own?
Ooh. Um, well, it's interesting because in Mallorca it can be so humid and hot that I've gotten into like wearing kind of like gym shirts, like sleeveless but with a hood, gym shirts, and then a pair of shorts. So I love that. Just like chilling and clothes.
Yeah, good point. If your mind was an island, what would it look like?
There'd be a lot of different parts of the island. There'd be like a mountain range, and then like flatland, and then a bunch of beaches, and some, forest, but none of it would really be organized.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. How many countries have you been to so far?
I don't know, somewhere in like the 30s, maybe. E05, let's see, all around Central and South America, Africa, Europe, a little bit in Asia, Australia. So probably somewhere in the 30s.
Impressive.
Yeah, I spent kind of 10 years living out of my backpack, traveling around the world. So I got to go to a lot of different countries. But I prefer to spend a lot of time in each one versus kind of moving around to a lot of different ones. So it's not that high of a
Yeah, true, true.
number.
If you could know the absolute and total truth to one question, What question would you ask?
I don't think I'd want to know. It'd be boring. You know the answer, and that would be it. So I don't think I'd ask. I wouldn't want to know the truth.
Okay, I respect that. Would you rather never use social media again or never watch another movie or TV show again?
Oh man, hitting where it hurts there, huh? I think I'd have to give up social media. I like movies too much.
Yeah, honestly, I will certainly say the same thing because, I mean, besides connecting and helping enhance with your work, what else social media is good for other than get us distracted and doom scrolling and just watching mindless videos that has no whatever reason, whatever comprehension or something I can't describe, something like that.
Yeah, it's really gone downhill with like short form videos. Like there's just no context. There's no, I don't know, it feels like the quality of social media has gone down pretty dramatically in the last 2 years.
Yeah, absolutely. What could you give a 40-minute presentation on without any preparation?
Sorry, could you say that again?
What could you give a 40-minute presentation on without any preparation?
Oh, a lot of different things, man. Rock climbing, canyoning, hiking, traveling. Give you a big old presentation on like how to apply for residency in different countries, things like that.
Yeah,
You
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good time.
Yeah. If you had a song for every time you entered the room, what song would that be?
It'd have to be like the opening line, like guitar riff to AC/DC Back in Black.
Ah, alright then. If you could be on any game show, which game show would that be?
I don't know, HBO had a really fun documentary called The Climb, and it was kind of like a game show documentary. It was a climbing contest that was looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah. I never pay attention to those kind of game shows, but I would love to see something happen in my country. Oh
Yeah, what's
well.
your country?
I'm from the United Kingdom,
Okay, what part?
Manchester.
Nice, cool, man.
Would you rather never age physically, but never age mentally?
Oh, mentally, man. I think people are too caught up on their personal appearance and aging and stuff like that. Like, I heard when I was really young, saw this really cool message that said, "Never regret getting older. It is a privilege denied to many." So I really tried to take that to heart, and I just try to stay fit and try to stay active and let the aging. I love it when like gray hairs come in and things like that because it just means that I'm getting wiser.
Yes, that is true.
I think a lot of people have an unhealthy obsession with trying to stay young. Um, I just don't think that that's mentally a good thing. I think we should embrace getting older and all the things that come with that because this is our one chance, our one life, and might as well make the best of
Yes, they won't last forever, so seize the moment while it still lasts.
it.
Oh yeah. What is your favorite quote?
Yeah, I got a couple. So there's a great one from Marcus Aurelius that says, uh, "That which is the obstacle advances. The impediment to action advances action. The obstacle is the way." Basically, he's saying that that which stands in your way, if you look at it from the right perspective, it could be the key, the obstacle that becomes your path. So even though something that's happening may feel bad, may feel like it's against you, inside of that is opportunity. So the worst things that happen to us are potentially an opportunity setting us up for greater success in the future.
Yes, couldn't agree more. What app can you not believe someone has not made yet?
Maybe like an everything app, an app that does everything. Like you
Oh
could pay
yeah.
your electricity bill and your phone bill and, you know, like look at videos.
Oh yeah, that would be handy for sure.
Yeah.
Actually, I think China has something similar. I think it's called WeChat. Well,
Yeah,
it
that
may
was
look,
kind of what I was thinking.
yeah, I was gonna say, at first it may look like it's just an app where you could just talk, direct message someone, but there's so much more to WeChat. Like, there's a shopping section and Oh man, there's so much more, but I can't think of it at the top of my head. But yeah,
Yeah,
so many Chinese people are so heavily reliant on this app, whether in China or whether they go abroad, and it's been so convenient for them. What's the weather like where you are right now?
kind of overcast and like a light rain. But yeah, it's gonna warm up, I think. It's early September here in Seattle. It's been a nice September so far, but it's looking like the rains are going to be starting soon.
Yep, I know the feeling.
Yeah,
Where
I
I'm
bet you
from,
do.
yes, where I'm from, it's known for its rainy times. Like, it doesn't rain every day, but it does rain more often throughout the year than most places in the UK. So, just enough water
Yeah,
for the plants for sure.
yeah, man. I went to Wales once, and it just rained and rained and rained. It was beautiful. Just a lot of raining.
Yep, and a lot of rain.
Yeah, out there. I was in Clonbarris, which is where actually they invented rock.
Huh?
Oh, that's
Interesting.
yeah. Y'all did a pretty good job of inventing lots of different stuff.
Yep, so much, so many things.
Yeah, there's some rock out in the Peaks District that is world famous, gritstone, and people go from around the world to climb it.
Yeah, if you had to bury a treasure chest, where would you hide it?
Yeah, it's just something I don't want people to find, or I want a specific person to find it.
It could be,
Like,
it,
am I
it
gonna
could
make a
anything.
map for people to find it?
Well, the aim is you're not. No one is supposed to find it. Where would you hide this treasure chest
Okay.
that'll be completely out of sight and out of people's minds?
Well, since I can breathe underwater and nobody else can, I definitely hide it in the ocean somewhere.
That's clever. Not many people would
Yeah,
think about that.
yeah, I gotta bring it back.
Impressive. What song is 10 out of 10, yet hardly anyone has heard of it?
Well, that song I was talking about, Cantares, de Juan Manuel Serrat. I mean, anybody in like the Spanish world has heard of it, but nobody in like the English speaking world has heard of it.
Ah, yes, of course. If you're going to sail around the world, what's the name of your boat?
That's a good question. The Boston Reel, named after my kids.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, be a nice memory. I hope they'd be on it.
Yeah, indeed. What's the first thing you would do if you found out you won the lottery?
I'll probably hire somebody to help me like make sure nobody found out and how to like invest the money, how to like, what would the tax obligations be? Someone to kind of help problem solve. I hear the big problem with the lottery is that people find out and they come and hit you up. And then people tend to be, after they win the lottery a couple years later, they tend to be worse off than they were when they won.
Yeah, I can see that. What natural landmark would you like to see someday?
Yeah, I think like maybe I'd like to go down to Patagonia and go climbing down there. Seems like it'd be really pretty.
Ah, yes, indeed. I'd love to go there someday, if only I have the
Yeah,
money for it.
yeah. It's funny how those things aren't free.
Yeah, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No, no way. Hot dog's a hot dog.
It's its own thing.
Yeah, it's its own thing.
Fair enough, fair enough. Can't argue with that.
Yeah, it's just like a hamburger's not a sandwich. It's a hamburger.
Yeah, it is what it is, and nothing else.
Yeah, maybe that's my like strongest opinion ever.
Yes, I'll give you that one, that's for sure. What's your favorite life hack?
You know, a good one. When you go to the airport, if you have like an oversized bag, what you can do if it's a backpack, not with like a normal piece of luggage, but you can always like any irregular shaped like piece of luggage. If you make eye contact with the person checking you in and talk to them and kind of chat them up and make them smile and are nice, You can kind of lean the luggage against the sidewall of the scale. You can knock off like 5 to 6 pounds, 3 kilos off your bag size or bag weight.
Interesting. Well, that's
Yeah,
something I'll take away.
I've done it a ton of times. All you got to remember that these people are used to people that are traveling and pretty stressed out, maybe not like putting on their best look, maybe being rude and kind of nasty. And so anytime someone's nice to them, they're just so happy to be treated nicely that they don't even, maybe they notice, probably they don't, but they don't care. We never had a problem.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's the value of just being nice to people. That's the ultimate life hack.
Yes, I agree. I do that. I've been doing that for whole life ever since, and it has certainly paid off in some way, and maybe at some point in
Yeah,
the future.
yeah.
Yes. What was the most overhyped place you've traveled to?
The changing of the guard in London, that was so boring. I couldn't believe I was there doing that. It was like the most overhyped thing I'd ever done.
Yep, social media these days.
Yeah, I felt like such a tool standing there.
Yep, it happens. And it will
Yeah,
happen to a lot more people.
I love the rest of England and Wales, but that was not my favorite. It was my least favorite place I'd ever been.
Yeah,
Tourist trap.
there's so much more you could do that'd be a lot more exciting actually.
Yeah, well, it was funny because we went there, right? We came from the solstice party at Stonehenge, right? So we had this amazing cultural experience that was like incredible. We got to watch the sunrise over the stones in the summer solstice. And then we went to there, to the Changing of the Guard in London, and it was like, this is so lame in comparison.
Yes, absolutely. And that is all we have for this episode. It's great having you on, Sam, talking about canyoning, climbing, your expeditions, and everything else travel related. It's been great.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to be on. Thank you for
Yes,
having me.
you're welcome. And until next time, stay tuned for more.